So we are live. We are live now, and so this is welcome to the You Were Born Rich Mastermind group again, guys. Adrian and MJ on tonight. Really excited about this chapter, as I was saying. It's a really good precursor for the full book and for the full program. To be fair, it's a good way just to open your mind to the ideas and to really get you moving forward. So me and money. How did you guys find me and money? What about you, Adrian? What did you find interesting about me and money?
What did I find interesting?
Mm.
What did I find interesting? Well, everything was interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to say specifically, though.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I say it'll come as well. And as I say, we'll be going over the full thing, so we'll refresh everything and just give you some specifics to work with. What about you, MJ? How did you find me and money?
It made me realise how negatively I think of money.
How
I really need to change my thought pattern.
Yeah, it's true. I say a lot of people think that focusing on, I've not got enough, I need to get some more money, I need to get some more money. They think they're doing a good thing by thinking about it all the time, but the way they're thinking about it is negative, because they're saying they can't afford anything, and they just keep repeating this, and then surprisingly they can't afford anything. So it's good that you've realised that and you pointed that out. It's a good thing to notice. So how's the last week been for you guys? I mean, obviously this information is quite new, but you've also been living your lives. So what are some successes that you've had over the last week? How about you, MJ? What are some successes you've had this last week?
Let's see. Well, I've finally got that loan through. So I've been talking to my friend Sarah, who's going to be like my person that trains me and stuff. So yeah, I'm still preparing to start the business. I'm doing that a little bit every day with like affirmations and things like that. Kids are off school at the moment, so I'm a bit stumped for time.
Sure.
I'm trying to do, when I've got time, I do try and do something positive, whether it's listening to affirmations or going over my goals or just speaking to people on Facebook that it's called MLM.
Yep, I know, I'm with you. Multi-level marketing. Yeah.
That's the word you use instead of pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, pyramid schemes are illegal, so technically nothing is a pyramid scheme. But,
right, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a bit of a scare word, the word pyramid scheme. So yeah, any of the successes you think you've had this last week? Any breakthrough?
It's been a pretty slow week actually. Not really been doing a lot because of the kids and stuff. So
yeah, no, I totally understand.
Positive things. I've been cleaning the house. I think that's about it really. I've just been like trying to do like change my thought patterns, change my subconscious thoughts when I get the time and stuff. So.
Sure, absolutely. What about you, Adrian? How has this last week been? Any successes that you've had this last week?
Well, I wouldn't really call them successes, but I wrote down those positive affirmations about money. I started repeating them every day.
Yeah.
I've created a new habit. I'm trying to think for about 30 minutes every day about the person I want to become and the things I want to achieve. What else? I started rereading Think and Grow Rich, and I wrote down that formula for self-confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm just reading that every day. In fact, I've learned it. They just say it every day.
Brilliant, brilliant. It's a good start to get your consciousness working.
Anything else? And I wrote my primary objective and on paper. I really started working more for this objective.
How have you found it how you found the difference between writing something down?
Well, I got more clarity.
That's a brilliant word.
I am more clear about what I want to achieve and the person I want to become. Brilliant. And also, it's like now I know which actions I need to take to get there.
Exactly. Because you've got a clarity of what you want to do, it makes it easier to find out what you need to do to get there, really. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
for sure. And there's something as well, guys, that I'd like to share with you in regards to this. I didn't plan on putting this in the in tonight's meeting, but just finished reading a book by Jack Canfield. You probably saw a picture on my Facebook, and there's a bit of a comfort zone thing that he mentions about successes, and it's just basically trying to look for more successes, because what I noticed from both of you was, and it's something that's true as well, if you're not used to looking for successes, it's quite hard to find them. And it's just a case of every night, what I now do is look at yourself in the mirror, make sure that everyone's aware of what you're doing, by the way, beforehand, because you might look a bit strange. But look yourself in the mirror and hold eye contact, and just start off by saying, like for me, for example, it'd be, hi Josh, I'm so proud of what you've done today. I'll just list off my successes. Now these successes could be as small as, I'm so happy that you actually woke up on time, you didn't snooze your alarm for an hour, you got up, you had a green juice, which is really helping towards your health and your mental clarity, giving you some good nutrition straight away to start your day. And just going through my entire day, filling out anything that I can find as a success, and just conditioning my mind to look for these little successes. And then you start finding so many more, and I must have been doing it for about 5 or 10 minutes the other day, just listing successes. It could be as small as, I was really positive to the person at work today, or I went to the shops and helped somebody reach something from the top shelf. I'm really happy that I went to the gym and worked out, really happy that I've spent some time working on my business. It's going to help me succeed in life. I'm definitely getting to where I need to be. And then towards the end of this dialogue that you say to yourself, is keeping the eye contact's really important, and speaking out loud is quite important. At first I was just mumbling and talking to myself. When I spoke out loud, it's more powerful. And at the end, just telling yourself that you love yourself, and it's quite powerful, to be fair, and it's something that I've started to look forward to, and you start realizing what you actually are doing, and you appreciate more what you've done. That's just like maybe a little exercise you guys can do. Not sure how you feel about that, but it's worked some wonders. But I definitely would tell the people in your house that you're doing it before you're doing it, because it might seem a bit strange otherwise.
Richard knows I'm nuts, so he won't be surprised.
Well, this is not the first time I heard about this exercise. I heard about it before, but I never really practiced it.
That's cool. It's a bit weird at first, but it is cool. And it is conditioning your mind to look for these little successes that you have in your day, because you probably do have more than you realise, to be fair.
Yeah. Another thing I've read, I don't remember, a few weeks ago, is that if you're not conscious of these little successes, you don't feel like moving. You don't feel like you have any progress, and this is what I felt till now. I think I'm gonna make it a habit, this exercise as well.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool one. So what are some things, we kind of touched on this a little bit, what are some things that you guys have struggled with? Things that you wanted to get done, but you didn't manage to get it done. How about you, Adrian?
Well, I always wanted to start a new website on a new niche. I'm researching now, but it's slow. It's really slow. Even though I have online courses, I bought online courses worth of a few £100, and I have all the information I need. It's just that I feel overwhelmed by all this information, and I feel a certain lack of ambition now. I don't know why.
Okay. Anything else that you struggled with? Maybe in your day-to-day stuff?
my day-to-day stuff.
Say over the last week, something you wanted to get done that you haven't managed to do.
Not really.
Okay,
Not really.
that's good. That's good. How about you, MJ? Anything you've been struggling with the last week?
Overeating. Just frustration, really. I just want to get the ball rolling. Just getting fed up of waiting for everything to start.
Sure.
And I know, I am trying to do positive things.
No, absolutely.
Stuff, but, this week I've just felt bored and fed up and been comfort eating. And...
Sure. No, I'm definitely a comfort eater myself, so I can definitely relate to that. So, what stopped you? What has stopped you from achieving the things you wanted to achieve this last week? Now, I say we did touch on it a little bit. So, what do you think that's, stopped you, MJ, from this last week from achieving the things? I mean, obviously you're waiting for the pack to come through.
Yeah.
But why do you think you've been maybe having a bit of comfort eating and being a bit bored? Why do you think that is?
I mean, usually I've got so much to do with like my degree and stuff, and I like having things to do and being busy. That challenged me, but I just find this last week just everything sort of stopped. I've sort of run out of steam. I don't know.
Because
having the kids there all the time, it's draining me a bit. And I know that sounds like a poor excuse.
Not at all. It's good to share.
I don't know. I just felt bored and fed up this week, so I've just been stuffing my face and not really doing much. Not really been seeing a lot of people or anything. So.
No, I can totally relate to that. I mean, even though people, meeting the people would be really good for your business, obviously, but it's one of them things sometimes, where you struggle to have the motivation to do the things we want to do, and the feeling of boredom, we can just end up, sitting around all day in your dressing gown and, doing work, but end up just being on Facebook or watching YouTube or, looking after the kids and not really doing too much, So what about you, Adrian? What do you think stopped you from, achieving these things and getting your website started?
There was nothing really tangible that stopped me.
Okay.
Only my mind, my thoughts. I think I was just looking for something more interesting and something to entertain me. For example, last weekend I was just surfing the web for all kinds of things. Nothing for my development. I just wasted time online. I went out and just wasted time with the guys. I didn't really. I didn't have the motivation to stay in the house and stay and learn and deal with all the little things you need to do to build a website. For example, with programming and stuff.
No, I can totally relate to that, and it's something that it is such a big thing. We know.
I just wanted to escape the hassle of building a website, I guess. Just an excuse, nothing really.
I totally understand where you're coming from, and I want you guys that are listening on the webinar as well, the recording, just to really think about what's held you back this last week. Think, write down a few things that you've really struggled with this week and what you think's held you back. This is an important thing to really think of. As we're moving forward, you really understand why I wanted to do that. And there's something that's essential here, and it is very true, and it's the order must prevail in your mind if you want it to materialize in your physical world. And if you understand what that means, it is so true. It's like the people that want to go on a diet because people tell them they're fat, so they go on a diet, and in their mind they want to go on a diet, but in their heart they love eating food. So there's a bit of chaos. There's no order there because you know, mentally they know they should be doing something better, but they really just want to eat food, so they end up going on a diet for a couple of days, and then it just all collapses. You know, have a bit of comfort food, and it just turns into, you know, everything is comfort food, and the diet's totally out the window. Or, for example, if someone wants to start a business and they're really excited about it, but they're not really sure of the business plan. They're not really sure of, you know, what exactly business they want to go into, what sort of market they're trying to aim for. So they end up doing a lot of work, but the business doesn't really take off because there's no real clarity. Like what you said earlier on, Adrian, there's no real clarity there. And same with writing your goals as well. People that have goals, and you know, if you ask 98% of people in the world and say, what are your goals? And they say, oh, well, to be successful, to have a great job, and to be happy. You know, and it's true. It's a brilliant. You know, that's something that we all want to have. But you know, really,
but it's
those
not
people
something
just
specific.
exactly, and you really got to be specific because you know what is successful and what is a nice house. Yeah, a nice house to me could be like a not so nice house for you. Success to, you know, a person who works for charity could be just helping a lot of people, whereas success for somebody else could be making £1 million. So you have to be, you know, decide what it is you actually want. You know, have the order in your mind, because otherwise we're just hustling around, being busy, but not really getting anywhere, and then it turns into frustration because we know we should be doing stuff and it's not right. And you know, when order starts to prevail, we can have a lot of things in our life. You know, we can start to have deep and meaningful relationships. I mean, I went through, you know, a huge battle for. I mean, I'm 25 now, and it's the first time I've had a long relationship that's lasted more than 3 months. You know, it's it's not brilliant, but I was never really bothered about having a relationship, so I never really had one. I always liked the idea of it, and I liked, you know, I like girls, and I like to be with them. But every time I was with them, I got distracted. I was quite self-centered. I wanted to do a lot of things myself, and it just never worked out. And I couldn't really figure out why. But it's because I didn't really figure out what I wanted from a relationship. So I never really had a relationship. Or when I did get one, it was just, you know, chaotic. And I just found, you know, it's not a very good relationship, to be fair. You know, prosperity and growth in the business, like I mentioned earlier. To have this, you need to have a clear vision of where you're going. And, you know, that's where the order comes in, because you know what you're going to get. When you get to work, you know what you need to start doing on your day, to what you're doing every day to get towards business growth. You know what you need to do, and then you just do it, and then your business starts growing. So if we're going to have order in our mind, we must have an image in our mind of what we want and where we're going in our life. And this all stems with paradigms. Now, what a paradigm is, I read this little quote to you here. It's an intellectual perception or a view accepted by an individual or society as a clear example, model, or pattern of how things work in the world. That's your reality. That's what you think the world works like. It's your set of habits that you believe, how things work. You know, who are good people, who are bad people, what foods you like, what environment you live in, the people you're around. You know, when a person is conditioned by their environment and their thoughts, this in turn becomes who they are, you know, the belief system and what they do. This is, for example, in, say, 1900s, like 1920 or something in America. If you were a black person, it was a lot of segregation. You had to get on a different bus. You had a lot of your rights weren't there like they are now. So if you're a white person living in a family, your environment is that, you know, black people aren't very good, and it's not racism. They just didn't think they had in them what they needed to be the normal people. They were separated. Now that was just their paradigm because of the environment they're in, because of what the family and friends are saying to them. That's what they just accept into the mind because it's being conditioned into the, you know, the conscious mind, and it's become who they are. That's, you know, if you're brought up in a vegetarian family, you're probably going to be vegetarian until somebody introduces you to McDonald's when you're 18 or 19 and you have a McDonald's. Or you could just stay it. The same way if you work on a ranch in America and you just eat meat, pretty much 90% of your food is just meat. because that's all you've been conditioned to have, and that's a big factor of your environment. But paradigms are huge. You know, these are things that why we do the things that we do, and there is a set of habits. You know, our habits are things, you know, like I like playing football or I eat healthily. But a paradigm is like a conditioning of habits where they all come together to create our beliefs almost, and who we really are as people. And obviously, as I've been to this little model of the stick man before, our conditioning or our habits create our actions. You know, the action to be a vegetarian, which gets our results of, you know, eating healthy and being a vegetarian, or being a racist, or, you know, being a successful business person. If you get brought up in a household where everyone's successful and everyone works hard, you probably do the same because that's the environment you're in. Now, where we get these habits and paradigms from is from our little mind. And what I mean by a little mind is when we were not conscious, when we were really small, you know, like children, even up to our teens, when we just accept things. You know, someone tells you something, you know, this is what we watch on TV, this is what time you go to bed, this is what you eat, this is what you like, this is your, you know, your friendship group, how you get influenced, and these are basically things, you know, the thoughts, and we're very susceptible to ideas when you're younger. You know, when people say, don't do that, don't touch that, we just learn not to do it. We don't ask questions really, we just do it. And if we ask the questions and get told, you know, why not? And just say because that's how it is. You know, you don't really get an answer a lot of the time when you're younger because you tend to ask a lot of questions. You're really curious. But this is where a lot of our habits and our paradigms come in, and it's amazing how often these paradigms stay with us for our entire lives. Habits that we've had from childhood that literally mean nothing. You know, people who get brought up in families that are really overweight, they become overweight and they're overweight their entire lives because they just believe that they should have takeaway on Tuesdays or Chinese on Thursdays and a roast dinner on Sundays with a family where your dad falls asleep at the table. You know, it's just these habits, it's just our conditioning of who we are by our outside influences and our inside. You know, when we go into school, you know, we get taught how to read, how to write, and what to do. And these paradigms have a huge influence on who we are growing up and who the people we are now, which is why people want to change and go on a diet. You know, they change their actions by eating healthier, but they haven't changed the paradigms. After a few days, they go back to eating unhealthy because they still believe, they still have the habit of eating this unhealthy food. And, you know, the subconscious mind can literally accept anything that's more powerful than any supercomputer in the entire world, you know, and that's so huge. We can remember anything that we've had in our entire lives, any experience we've had, we can recall. Lack and limitation can only exist when we make room for them in our mind, and prosperity consciousness knows no limitation, and that's so true. And we've spoken about this before, and you see it every day with you know, when I spoke the other day about the planes, if you go back 100 years and tell someone about an aeroplane and that you can fly through the air and have a video conference call with two different people on different sides of the planet while sitting in a nice chair, eating your favourite meal, you know, listening to your favourite music and getting poured a glass of champagne, people wouldn't believe you. But that's just because somebody believed it enough and accepted it into their consciousness that something like this could be happening, it could happen, and they're going to turn it into a reality. And they did, and now we have these things that are all around us. And, you know, the potential out there is infinite. I mean, if I told you now that you'd be able to teleport to any place in the world in 10 years' time, you'd probably think that's a pretty unbelievable thing, but who knows what someone can create in the next 10 years. That could be reality in 10 years' time.
Well, I think it's possible now.
Exactly. All it takes is someone to believe it. I mean, like space travel, you can time the landing of a spacecraft within a fraction of a second. Into space.
The thing is, I read some articles on some websites, and I saw some videos on YouTube. The government released some information, and they already teleported some small things. But I think it's possible, humans as well. But They
I mean,
don't
I didn't even know that, and that's
they
incredible.
don't share it yet.
It's incrable.
Yes, it is.
I mean, there's a little quote here by Bruce Lee as well. I'm not sure if he did it or he's just in the picture. But if you always put a limit on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life. There are no limits. There are only plateaus. And you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. And this is the whole thing about comfort zone. You just got to keep pushing the comfort zone. Because if you're staying where you are, you're not really staying where you are. You're dying slowly because you're not growing. And there's only two laws in the universe, and that's how they're growing, like create or disintegrate. So you just got to keep pushing. And these are what bad habits and unnecessary paradigms do for us. You know, snoozing the alarm clock because you're tired. You know, you condition yourself. I mean, for years. And it's ridiculous now that I think about it. For years, I snoozed my alarm clock every single time it went off for at least half an hour. It'd make you think, why do you not just set your alarm half an hour later and wake up? Or why don't you just wake up? But it's just something I was conditioned to do. I was that guy with a hammer. I was ready to turn it off. I had to get special alarm clocks that would like be out of my reach, and I couldn't reach them until I was actually fully awake. Or staying up late on Facebook. You know, I still do this now sometimes. You know, you get distracted by, I have an intention to do something, and I get a link to a video that's, you know, inspirational or motivational. I watch that, and I click a link to another one, and about 4 hours later, I'm watching a video of cats playing pianos. Don't know how I've got there or what I'm doing, but it's 2 in the morning. I'm up in about 5 hours, and I'm thinking, what am I doing with my life? But it's just these habits that we just allow ourselves to do these things. You know, fast foods and the whole distraction thing. You know, if I had $1 for every time I got distracted, I wish I had a puppy. Just getting distracted way too easily. And we all do that. You know, we've got stuff we want to do, but we get distracted way too easily. And our conditioning controls how we see things. You know, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. And that's completely true. These two environments on the screen here are the same thing. The alarm's going off. One guy is thinking, oh my god, it's way too early, I need to get some more sleep. This other girl is thinking, yes, today's starting, probably up before her alarm, getting ready to go and start the day and rock it. They've got two completely different attitudes. One's starting the day positively and ready to go, and the other one's starting the day tired, angry at the alarm, and, you know, not very happy. And it's just the same experience, but look at it in different ways. You know, and I'm sure if you think about it, it probably is better just to wake up when your alarm goes off because you set it for a reason. And you can probably get a lot of stuff done and wake yourself up before you get to work. I mean, we've all got paradigms, you know, we've all got things that we do, and it's a big thing to change all of them. Paradigms relate to everything though. You know, how much money you earn is a paradigm. People don't realise that, but it is. You know, it's what we accept. If all our friends around us are earning, you know, £12,000 to £16,000 a year in jobs, and all the people that we know earn that sort of money, when we go for a job, we generally go for a job that's earning between 12 and 16,000. We don't apply for the job that's at 40,000 because our conditioning said that we can't earn that much. You know, how much time we spend in the gym? If we don't go to the gym ever, we never have that habit to go to the gym because we don't understand how much it can help us. You know, how many times and this is something for me, how many times you fully complete something, well, these are all for me to be fair, how many times you fully complete something before starting something new. You know, I've read about 7 books at the same time because I picked one up, got really into it, and then I saw another book in the shops, picked it up and bought it home, started to read it, and done the same thing about 7 times. I got 7 books I'm reading at the same time, and I never finish any of them because I get distracted by each one and never fully complete something. Same way the business. You know, I start trying to do one webinar before I've even finished planning the other webinar, or I'm making plans and I haven't even finished, you know, the first structure for initial program. Or it could be anything, you know, it could be even just going to the gym. You know, you haven't finished your leg session before you start to do your arm session. How big your social circle is, another thing for me. You know, I never had a lot of friends because I blamed it on I was too busy at work and I wasn't really a people person. I was an angry chef who just wanted to be, relaxing, going to the gym or, having a drink. I wasn't really bothered about meeting a lot of people. And that was my paradigm. And that's who I was. I wasn't growing because there was nobody around me to support me. I was always tired. My energy levels was tired. I was at work, I worked hard and passionately, but I was always tired. I always needed coffee inside of me. I always needed to have some extra energy from somewhere. I was always getting a nap when I could. I was always snoozing my alarm clock. How I react to situations when someone tells you you're wrong? Do you react with anger, or are you happy to accept their response to you? Are you happy just to say, "Oh, what do you think's wrong? Why do you think I'm wrong?" Or do you instantly react to them and tell them, "No, no, I'm not wrong." How we get out of relationships, like I said earlier on with my relationships. Can you guys relate to these sort of habits and paradigms that we all have?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, brilliant. Glad it's not just me then. And these are basically what have held you back this last week and this last few years. Things that your conditioning, your paradigms, and you really start to notice this as we move through this program and the coming chapters. It really is. You were tired. You got distracted easily. So you wanted to do something, but you were just looking for things on the internet. You were overeating, comfort eating, and I mean, I'm very, very interested in nutrition, and I do comfort eat at times, but I understand the value of food because, food affects our moods. What we eat affects our moods. If we eat a lot of food, we feel tired and sluggish, and then our moods affect our choices. So we don't want to do any work because we're tired. So we're actually choosing just to be tired by eating a lot of food, and it's we don't think that we do, but we are doing that. We're eating it because we know what results we get when we overeat and comfort eat, but we still do them because we get emotionally attached to something. We feel tired, we get a bit frustrated, so we eat something to feel better. But really, the rest of the day, we're just sluggish and hanging around the house. Same way with business. You both know, because I know you're both building your businesses. You both know that your business is your main source. You're going to be your main source of income, and the more you work on that, the more money you're going to earn, and the more you work on that, the better it's going to be, and the easier it is to make money. And you know that you could spend a lot of time on there, be speaking to a lot of people about your business, but your paradigms have held you back. Am I right on thinking that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
I should be talking to prospects every day. But I'm not doing that because I'm always distracted.
Exactly. And it is tough. And it's just we're literally trying to change who we are. But, to change the results we want to have, we've got to change our paradigms. And it's the hardest thing. It's literally this program, and if you follow it, and these things are going to be the hardest things that you're going to do in your entire life because you're changing exactly who you are. I mean, I'm 25. I'm changing 25 years of conditioning. It's not easy, and that's why a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people don't get into that top 5% or top 1% where you're going to be, where you could be easily. It is tough, and you're changing who you are to become who you want to be. Better results require better paradigms. And this is something I touched on slightly earlier on as well. For a person to experience permanent change in their lives, there must be a change in the cause of their results. And what I mean by that is why they want to do something. People try and change the results by changing the behavior, just by going on a diet without really committing to the diet. The change is generally temporary. Although behavior causes results, it is generally a secondary cause. Behavior is a secondary cause. The primary cause is the paradigm. Change this, you'll begin to change the results you get in your life. Now, this is something, when I speak about my diet quite a lot, my nutrition, this is something that happened to me instantly. And my paradigm changed and my diet changed, and it's never gone back since. As I was saying, I was watching one of the guys on about how to master your inner game, your confidence, and it's somebody I'll mention to you, Adrian, later on, and it's really huge. Like, I was just watching these videos and just plowing through this YouTube session for hours and hours, and at one point I happened to be interviewing a nutritionalist, and this guy lives and breathes a raw vegan diet. And now I'd been playing with the idea of going vegetarian for about 6 months. I tried it and gone off it, and tried it and gone off it because of my paradigms didn't really relate to it as well. But I watched this guy for an hour and a half, and I was completely it took my breath away, and everything that he said made complete sense to me. And he was an authority as well. There's an institute in America called Hippocrates. Hippocrates is a person that lived, quite a few centuries ago, and has said, "Let thy food be thy medicine." And it's a big, forever living for you, MJ, be a similar sort of thing. What you put into your body is your medicine. That's what it's always been. All that medicine really is, all that medication and paracetamol and steroids and anything is, all it does is there's nothing in the actual medication that we take. It's just it sends a signal to our body to release specific chemicals to heal us. There's nothing in the actual pill. It just sends a signal into our body for our bodies to release the healing chemicals. Everything we need is already inside us, and food is medicine for, has been for thousands of years and since we've been alive. And all the modern medicines are from, from the planet, basically, from animals or from plants and trees. And like penicillin is from a tree, and it's one of the greatest painkillers there is. But yeah, anyway, I'm going a bit off track here. But nutrition, and it changed my thoughts instantly. And from that day, I've been really, really healthy and super, super healthy. Now I eat about 85% vegan diet, and most of the food is quite raw. So, and I've loved it ever since. And it's because I've changed my paradigm. It just clicked, and it was instant, and I never looked back. There was never a thought where I was saying to myself, I just can't wait to go back to eating normally. There was never that thought.
How is that
Hmm?
How is that affecting your energy levels?
Oh,
Are they higher than usual?
Nah. But that was my one of the big changes that really boosted my self-development and really got me going in life. To be fair, gave me a lot of clarity and allowed me to think a lot clearer. But yeah, that was huge for me, my dad. Because really, what you put into your body is what you get out. It's how fuel. You put clean fuel in, you're gonna get a good result.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not against eating meat or anything or eating fast food, but you got to really think about what you put into your body. And I mean, are you guys starting to understand how you really operate on a mindset level? How your thoughts do create your results?
Yeah, I've started so many diets and finished them 2 weeks later. I often do that, like start off exercising and eating healthy, but it's wore off 2 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly. And it's key that what you said there was key. You just start off going on a diet. Whereas if you wanted to go on a diet, you got to really start in your mind. What are the things, by going on what are you gonna, if you don't go on this diet, what's gonna happen? And then just see yourself in 5-10 years without going on this diet, and then see yourself, 5 or 10 years, if you've stuck to this diet and really committed to it, all the benefits you're going to get from it, how much it's going to change your energy levels, how much it's going to change your confidence, by feeling healthier, more energetic, and then you'll really start be able to think, right, okay, I'm ready for this diet. Link all the pain and pleasure that you've got to the diet. What's going to help you by changing this diet, or whatever it is? It could be any paradigm with your business or anything. I'm just using health as an example. What's the pleasure you're gonna get out of doing this thing in what's the results gonna have in 5, 10, 20 years time? Now, what's gonna happen if you don't do it? What's gonna happen in 5, 10, 20 years time? You understand?
Yeah, I mean, I've done well today. I haven't ate a lot. I've been drinking like lemon water and some of my Forever Living aloe juice, so I'm quite proud of myself.
Yeah.
doing it.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's really trying to get into the paradigms, really understanding how things work on a mindset level, because our results are determined by literally our thoughts. But as I was saying, don't beat yourself up if your current results are not what you want. It's a reflection of your past conditioning and your environment. It's what it is. And for us to move forward with our results, we've just got to change our thinking and really move forward with that. That's it. To change our future results, we have to change our present thinking. Remember that if you focus on all the reasons why you're not where you want to be, your mind is going to give you what you focus on. I'm more of the same. I'm not a successful business owner. You're not going to become one, because you're going to sabotage yourself to make sure you're not going to become that, because you're telling yourself that you're not a successful business owner, that you haven't got enough money. It's going to just give back what you put into it. Focus on who you are and where you want to be in a positive way. Now, just really getting back into the book. Do you guys remember this place, the Edgewater Beach Hotel?
I can't remember it.
No. What about you, Adrian?
No.
No. You guys, the repetition with the book is what I was saying earlier on. To really get the most out of these chapters, the way I've done it before when I was in the program, I listened to it, every day for a few days and read the chapters a few times and just stuck with the chapters and just really delved quite deep into the chapters every time. And that way, when the mastermind does come up, really prepared, because there's a lot of information in these chapters, and if you're not careful and you skip ahead, sometimes you can really miss a lot of the vital points. Because to be fair, when I first listened to it and read it, I thought, well, this is quite simple stuff. I could do these simple steps. What's next? But it's like, Think and Grow Rich with Bob Proctor and John Canary. They've been reading that book for 47 years. The information is still in there, and they probably could read it once and get all the information they know, but they repeat it constantly, and they became like two of the most successful success coaches there are in the world. So it's all about the repetition and just conditioning your mind. So this Edgewater Beach Hotel is at the start of the book, where the giants of the industry, the richest people in the world, all gathered at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in 1920. Remember, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And these like the head
half
of
them killed themselves and stuff. It was awful.
exactly.
And those guys that died.
Yeah, you do know. Hey, just a little refresh. I wasn't trying to pick on you guys. But do you guys know anyone like this? Anyone who seems to have a lot of things in their life but isn't happy, or seems to be self-destructive?
Yeah, and I think sometimes people want things for the wrong reason. And if it doesn't replace, materialistic things don't replace what's missing inside.
What about you, Adrian? You know people like this?
Unfortunately not. I only know poor people.
Okay. No, but I mean like people with the attitude, people that have
yeah.
have a lot of things in their life, but they don't really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So what do you think's missing for the people?
I used to have.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was just saying, what do you think's missing for these people? I mean, MJ really touched on that. There's something missing inside. What do you think, Adrian? What's missing for the people?
Well, when I think about a guy I used to know back in my own country, I think he missed love. He had a nice car, even though he was in high school. He had a really nice car, not the typical car for a high school boy. He had money. His parents were well off and things like that. But he wasn't satisfied, even though he had girls. He wasn't able to keep a relationship though, and I think this is what he missed: love or a fulfilling relationship. This is what I think he missed, because money he had cars, and you could say he had everything he wanted.
Exactly. So that brings me to a point which you said there. Why do we need money? Why do you guys think we need money?
For a better quality of life.
Better quality of life. Okay. Adrian?
Not only
Not a
better
trick
quality of
question.
life, but
Sorry?
well, you need money for yourself, not just for a better quality of life, but to make the people around you a better life. I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
For example, like for your family, or I don't know, for example, like you being a coach or something. Being a coach, you're helping other people as well to have success, have more money, and for that you also need money when you're coaching people.
Hmm. Hmm.
No, I don't know how to I don't know how to say this. How to
No,
say?
absolutely, I totally understand. So you think we need to have money so we can help other people?
Well, yeah.
Hmm. No, that's good.
For example, like Tony Robbins, he's a big philanthropist, and he's donating $100 million every year, feeding the poor.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Depending what you want. Depending what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's true. It's some really good answers from you guys. It's just shows the kind of people you are. You know, people need money to live comfortably. Anyone says they don't need money, they do need money to live comfortably. It does help us have nice things and have a roof over our heads. And as you were saying, Adrian, enhance your services beyond your physical presence. We're seeing helping other people, but also, as Tony Robbins is doing, is raising enough money to help these people feed the people. Help the money to feed these people. He's not physically there giving them the food, but his services are so enhanced that he can afford to feed. I think it was 42 million people last year. With this book that is brought out, is 100% of the profits have gone to feed, to feeding these homeless. So that's two of the main reasons why you need money. It's really good answers to me, guys. It kind of shows that you understand this, and that we use money and we love people. That's something you really need to get your head around. If you start to love money and use people, it's definitely not a good place to be, and you're on a track to nowhere, basically. And this is a quote by a brilliant man who actually had the strangest secret. That's what I sent up to you guys. Brilliant man who I definitely recommend researching. One of my idols. Our rewards in life will always be in direct ratio to our service. And I'm sure you know what that means, but it's basically how good we are at our job directs how much money we're going to get paid. Basically,
how much value we bring to others.
Exactly. Because if we give a lot of value, people are going to want to have us in their lives. If we're the best chef in the world, people are going to want us to feed them because we know we can provide a good service. If we're the best at offering, an online business, people are going to come to us to get the business, to learn how to build a business. And you're going to get paid a lot of money to do it. So how would you feel announcing your intention is to build great wealth to a room full of your closest friends and family? How about you, Adrian?
Bit ashamed, fearful. Yeah, fearful. How will they react?
Okay. What about you, MJ?
I think they'll all be really supportive.
How would you feel though? Not them. How would you feel?
Well, I'd be worried that people would think I was bonkers, so yeah, I'd be a bit apprehensive.
Okay. No, that's totally natural. Now, wealthy people who stay wealthy are confident doing this because they are wealthy, but the mindset comes first. They're comfortable talking about money and announcing people that they're going to have money. And this is really true. You're going to feel ashamed by having a lot of money, and you're going to announce it to your friends. But that really just shows, deep inside of you what your thoughts are when you get a lot of money. You need to start becoming, this is where the prosperity consciousness comes into play. You need to really get comfortable with the idea of having money and having a lot of money to help you. And once you get clear of it and get comfortable with it, it'll start coming to you. Because if you're ashamed of having money or embarrassed about having this great wealth, because eventually you'll be telling people you got it, but if you're ashamed about it, that's a negative feeling. And obviously you don't attract negative feelings into your life, you just attract the emotion. You wouldn't attract the money, you just attract the negative emotion with it. So you wouldn't get a lot of money, you just get more of the negative feelings.
Yeah.
So your mind responds strongest when you attach emotion to things. Happy and confident thoughts about money, or worried and anxious thoughts. You know, it's an interesting one. If you're having a hard time believe this, look at your current results. They're a result of your past thinking. If you haven't got a lot of money now, it's because of your consciousness before. So to change that, all you need to do is change your thinking. And you got to want to change. You got to really go and understand that you really want to have this money. It's going to change your life, and get really comfortable with the idea of having money. That's where affirmations come in. Not just with confidence and happiness, but you need to have them with money, because you need to really get comfortable with the idea of money and link happiness and looking forward to having these great things to share the love with the money and help serve a lot of people. Money is a servant. Has there ever been a time in your lives where you've let money control you? Anyone got an example of this?
I think a lack of money controls you all the time because you're so limited to what you can do.
Okay. What about you, Adrian?
Well, I never really had a big sum of money, let's say, so I can lose control of them.
So what about, like if you go into a restaurant, you just order what you want, or do you have a look at the prices first?
I look at the prices first, yeah.
You say just little things, and you're just consciously telling yourself, "Oh, I can't afford that; it's a bit expensive." Or in your life, like you said, MJ, money controls everything. And if you haven't got a lot of money, you can't have a good life and stuff. And it is interesting, and it is true. And that's the whole. Money is just a thing. It's just a thing we have in our lives. And if we worry about the thing, we're not going to have it. We're going to really focus on our services and what we're really putting our time into and what we're really thinking about, how growing our businesses. Money shouldn't make you happy or sad. It just is. It's just a thing. Money doesn't make people good or bad. It simply enhances who they already are by allowing them access to more resources. And if you're a happy, prosperous, giving person and you get given a lot of money, it's not going to turn you into a Scrooge who hoards everything and doesn't like people. It's going to make you more happy and you're going to be able to give to more people. But in the same way...
Contrary to what most people say.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why the people who win $1 million in the lottery, within 6 months it's all gone. It just enhances who they already are. They have the consciousness to spend all of the money they earn. It doesn't make a difference how much money you have. It all is your consciousness. If you earn, same way with me, when I said before, I earned £5,000 one month with catering and then £1,000 the next month. I still spent the money. I earned 4,000 more, but I still spent it. Didn't have much to show for it. I still spent it. The same way if you earn $1 million. If your mentality is to spend on things and to have at the end of the month a bank account of zero, you're going to spend that $1 million. Doesn't make a difference. This is why people say, "Oh, I just need a get rich quick scheme." It doesn't work because they're not mentally ready for the money. They just spend what they earn, and that was a huge thing for me when I thought, "Geez, I just earned £5,000 and I ain't got anything left." Because £5,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people. It's a lot of money to me now, to be fair. And I managed to spend it all in a month, and I was working every day. So it's something you got to really be aware of, and it's just a thing that you have in your life, and it enhances your wealth is a state of mind, which is what we touched on a little bit earlier on. Do not value money for any more or any less than it's worth. Money is a good servant but a bad master. Now, what do you really want in your life? And this is where the clarity comes into play. If you can't figure out your purpose, what are you passionate about? And this doesn't really always mean, people say, oh, what's my purpose for a career? Figure out what your purpose is. Just bear with me a second. I wrote down something today and last night about my goals. And when I write my goals, for 6 months' time, I put into categories. My work, how much what I'm doing with my career, my finances, my relationships, personal development, social life, family life, coaching, health, nutrition, network marketing, and contribution. And then I figured out what I want in each of those categories. So your passion or purpose doesn't necessarily just have to be your work, because we're whole beings. We have a whole life to think about. So why not focus on how to, what we want out of our relationships, what we want out of our family lives, what exactly, if you're really clear what you want in your business, but your rest of your life sucks, what's the point? And this is why I say it's hard. You got to really put a lot of effort into everything. Where do you want to be in your health wise? How many times are you going to go to the gym? What body do you want to have? How fit do you want to be? What's nutrition like? How many meals are you going to have? What calories or what diet are you going to be? How much are you going to weigh in 6 months? The clearer the image is, the happier you're going to feel because you can work towards it. If you want an 8-pack in 6 months, you can figure out you need to go to the gym at least twice a week and train your abs. Then you can figure out a plan. The same way with your social life. If you want more of a social life, you need to start speaking to more people. If that scares you, it's gonna scare you. That's why you haven't got many friends. Start adding people on Facebook that are friends of your friends, and say, hey, I know that you know this guy. I wanted to connect with you. How's it going? It might seem weird and strange, especially you guys in network marketing. That's what you got to do. Just start talking to these people. Sometimes you'll get weird responses like, who are you? What? I don't want to speak to you. But most of the time, people will be quite friendly. Oh, you know this guy? How do you know Bill? Oh, I know Bill I met him at a drinks the other day. Oh, cool. So what do you do for a living? And you just get into a conversation and you start becoming friends with these people. And then in your day-to-day life, start going out and about, doing things. It doesn't have to be expensive. Go out and, if you got someone to go with, brilliant. Or just go to the gym and just start chatting to people at the gym if you're not sure what to do. Ask for help, and people are quite friendly, to be fair, especially in the gym. Or go to something you're interested in, like a book club or a meditation club, or dancing, rock climbing, CrossFit. It could be anything. And then start meeting people who you're interested in. If you go to a bar, you're going to meet people who like going to bars. It's figure out what you're passionate about, and then try new things and see what fits. Now, Mr. Chapman, out of the Me and Money. And you guys remember Mr. Chapman?
Yeah, he's the one that stored all his money in his house, but still lived like a pauper.
Yeah, that's it. The hoarder, the guy who didn't circulate his money. His money was just in his house, and he was just sat there. And he was so worried about being poor that he was poor, and his thoughts of poverty visited upon him. And that's so true. And it's surprising to think, but it's just the same as me spending £5,000 in a month. I had the consciousness to spend money. What I earned, I spent, and that was just it. His consciousness was to be poor. He believed himself that he was going to be poor, and he was poor. He had loads of money, but he was still poor. And it's so powerful what these thoughts can do for you. How much are you willing to invest into your future, into your savings account? How much?
Already put 10%.
Exactly, it's great. 10% is brilliant. That you're putting some money away to invest there, and that.
I even made a savings account and putting aside from every revenue.
Brilliant.
10%.
That's it. And people who say they haven't got enough money to save 10% need to start saving 10%. And that might sound a funny thing to say, but if you can't afford to save 10% of your wages, you need to start saving 10% of your wages. And that's a really important thing, because that must mean that then you're really just starting to develop a consciousness that you can save and you can control money, and that you're comfortable with money because you have some money, and it gives you a lot of peace of mind when you start saving money into an account, because it starts growing.
Yeah, true.
You know. Another way of convincing your subconscious mind that you're able to have a lot of money is to give away some. You know, give to a worthy cause. Now, I'm not saying a lot of money. You know, if you give a couple of pounds to a charity, or you give a certain percentage of your wages to a charity, your money will start knowing that you've got a lot of money, and it'll start thinking, oh, you've got an abundance of money because you're able to give it away. So it gives you more to be able to give, to allow you to give a little bit more away. But once if you're giving 1% away, and it gives you more, you're only still giving away 1%. You've got the rest of the money for yourself. It's not the same as having the consciousness to spend all of your money. It gives you an abundance feeling that you can have a lot of money to be able to give it away. It gets comfortable with the idea of money. You're not trying to save every penny and trying to spend on everything that matters. You got a little bit of money to give away because it's a worthy cause. And if not your money, give your time, because your time can be considered more valuable than money. And as you guys progress in your business, you're going to become really busy, and you'll start noticing the value of your time. That it's basically worth money. Like last night, I went and helped feed the homeless people around Birmingham, and it was a really nice thing. I felt pretty good for it, and it feels good to give back. I didn't give them any money. I gave them a bit of food, but gave them a bit of my time as well, and it just feels pretty good. And emotions are one of the biggest factors when programming your subconscious mind. If you've got a lot of negativity surrounding money, we'll only get a lot of negativity in return. There are people that say, I'm not happy. I'm happy not having money, and they are. People that say, I don't mind. I ain't got a lot of money. I'm happy with what I've got. So they only get given what they've got, and it's ridiculous. They just get into a state. They've said that, and they've started to believe it, and it's all they're doing is keeping themselves in that rut. I'm happy with the money I earn. I haven't got enough, but it's enough for me. So I'll always just get enough, just enough to get by. Why not be saying, I'm happy, and having money enhances that. It makes you even happier having money. And how do you guys feel when you pay your bills? Pretty good, I'd imagine.
No.
Yeah.
Again.
Probably not that good, because you're giving money away to these things.
Again, I'm giving my money, my hard-earned money.
Exactly. You're paying this money. You got negative feelings, aren't it? It is negative feelings. And imagine if you're paying for all these things. Imagine if someone said to you, "All right, fair enough. You feel negative about having these things. How about we don't have them anymore? No more phone signal. No more hot water for a shower in the morning. No heating, or just being homeless because you didn't want to pay your rent." You got to appreciate the services that you've got. Cause imagine if you didn't have access to have heating in your house that could help your family sleep a warm, comfortable night. The signal you got for your TV, your Sky TV, so you can watch all the channels that you want to watch. The hot water, so you can have a nice bath and get clean. The cell signal, so you can call your friends and family. And this is something, it's really true. It might sound a bit strange, but both you guys had negative feelings when you pay for things. And that negative feeling is surrounded about money, because you pay money for the services. Now, it's something that you wouldn't have thought about, and it's something I didn't think about when I first heard of this, but it is very true. We're paying for something, and we're thinking, God, I hate paying for my rent. God, I just had to pay, 100 quid for my bills. I didn't think of it that much. Can't afford this, really. We're linking all these negative emotions to money. And now it sounds strange, but if you just say, oh, brilliant, I really appreciate the hot water I've had this month. This money's going to pay for that. I appreciate the phone I've got and all the facilities that it gives me. I have access to a lot of things with this phone. I'm happy to pay this bill. I'm happy to pay for the heating because it keeps me and my family warm. The things that you fear come to visit upon you. People who know they can't save money usually don't. People who know they struggle to find good relationships usually do struggle. People who never stick to a diet usually don't. How do you feel when it comes to money? Do you feel like you never have enough? Do you feel like you can't save? Because if you do, then you probably don't have enough when you don't save. But if you can't save now at the beginning, how do you expect to save when you've got more money? You know, when you're earning £100,000 a year, how do you expect to save 10%? Do you expect to save £10,000 if you can't save, you know, £1,000? You know, it's an interesting thing. You're going to start these habits, these paradigms now. And, you know, we aren't the strongest creatures or the fastest or the ability to have camouflage. So why are we, as humans, at the top of the food chain? You know, we've got some animals here that are just, you know, destroy humans. I heard something like the average human can get killed by something a quarter of its size. It doesn't sound great, but, you know, we can get killed by a bug. You know, a mosquito can come and kill us. You know, it's not instantly, but over time, obviously. You know, snakes, elephants, all these things can kill us. So what separates us and makes us at the top of the food chain?
Mind. The mind.
The mind, exactly, the mind. And our two highest faculties are our ability to think and our ability to act. It's what separates us from a pig or a horse, which is completely true. They can't think. You know, they just react to life. They don't think about the next meal, they just see food and eat it. And it's why we're at the top of the food chain. You know, we put ourselves in an environment that supports us. You know, we surround ourselves with people who are strong, or we should be, who are going places. You know, you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang around with. The ability to think and plan ahead and not to put ourselves into sticky situations. But we are so much more. You know, we have the ability to do anything, literally anything. Whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Are you guys following this?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure I'm not talking too much.
Yeah, I've discovered I'm either a pig or a horse because when I see something, I eat it.
You definitely not. I do similar things, MJ. It's not just you. So what thoughts are you conceiving, and more importantly, what are you believing? You know, what do you believe about yourself, your capabilities? You know, are you able to have these businesses and these lifestyles that you want to live, or are you telling yourself all the things that you can't do and what things are holding you back? And this is an interesting quote I found, but it's a lot like finding the centre of town. It doesn't matter which way you approach it from. When you get there, you're in the same place. You know, we all have the potential to get there, to the place we want to go. I mean, how much potential do we have, really? There was a scientist many years ago that said the human potential of a human body is about 11 million kilowatts per hour. Now, that's enough to light up North America for almost a week. The potential energy of a human body is about 11 million kilowatts per hour. And how many people do you hear say, I'm tired, or I don't have any energy? All we are is energy. That's literally all we are is energy.
Do you know the name of the scientist?
I don't. It says it on You Were Born Rich. Bob Proctor mentioned it on the seminar.
Okay. I'm really interested about that.
Yeah, it's like a DuPont scientist. I'm not sure what a DuPont scientist is, but that's the potential energy of a human, like the electric. Because we're all energy, aren't we? Basically, just vibrating at a different level. And this is where we get into a bit of the nitty gritty, guys. Here, you know, water. Water in its physical form is vibrating at a certain rate to keep it that way. However, you know, that's a vibration that it's in. However, once we warm it up, we add heat to it, it's still the same molecules there, but it's just vibrating a lot faster. This makes sense, guys? Yeah, so it turns into steam or vapor, and it turns into an astral vibration. We can still see it, but it's changed its vibration, so it's changed its state. And if you continue adding heat to this steam or vapor, it becomes air, ether, or gas. So you can't see it, and it becomes in an etheric vibration, and it's vibrating at a different rate, where we cannot see it anymore. It's just part of the atmosphere now. And it's all about vibration. It's the same energy, it's just vibrating at a different rate. Now, these are the different energy levels again, but with us, because we are all energy, you know, and we live in a physical body, we have an intellect, which is what the I is, and we're spiritual beings. You know, we think and we can go places with our mind. I can think of, you know, going to the cinema and boom, I'm imagining it straight away. I imagine myself sitting there in front of the screen. I can take myself somewhere mentally. We can imagine things. As spiritual beings, gifted with an intellect, living in physical bodies. And it's all about our vibration. We go a lot into this in the coming chapters. There's actually a full chapter on vibration. So I don't want to blow you guys' minds too much. But you really want to start thinking about this because, you know, we are just energy vibrating at a certain level. We're all just molecules that have been designed a certain way to hold things together. The same way water is, it's just heated a certain way and turns into a different thing. You can increase your vibration. You know, that's why we get pumped up. Sometimes, you know, when someone's running at you, you start getting excited, you start getting prepared to, you know, the fight or flight mode. Your heart beats a lot faster, you get ready to go. Your vibration is changing, you're more aware. The same thing when you start being around these sort of ideas, you start thinking a lot more. Nothing's changed, you're just vibrating at a different frequency, so you're more acceptable to the ideas. You know, everyone's vibrating at a higher level, and it's all about vibrating higher. When you're tired, you're vibrating at a less level. You're not thinking enough, you're not thinking about anything, you're just slouched there watching TV. You know, many people let their current results determine their behaviours and feelings. And we'll go over this again and again because repetition is key. You know, they say it's the mother of all skill, and it is key. You're going to repeat this to our conscious mind repeatedly, which is why I mentioned about going through the chapters again and again. The only way to change our results is by changing what and how we think about things. This way we act differently and get different results. Positive thinking equals positive action, and we get positive results. Be good to yourself and create beautiful images of the lives we want. Visualize an exciting life for yourself. You know, and you can do. This is what I was saying when I wrote out my goals. What are your goals you want to write out, and how do they look like? I mean, I wrote a little thing about mine, you know, jet skis, holiday homes, yachts. And there's a book I'm reading at the minute. I'm reading this book by David Schwartz with this quote, you know, the magic of thinking big. You know, think little goals and expect little achievements, but think big goals and win big successes. You know, you got to think outside the box. You know, don't let yourself hold you back because, as we've gone over already, the subconscious mind knows no limitation. You can do whatever you want to do. So set yourself these big goals because you can literally do anything. If you write a plan, if you have a visual goal of where you want to be, even if it's the President of the United States, you tell yourself, I want to be this. Now, it sounds ridiculous, the most powerful man in the world. You're going to laugh. Well, how would you get to that stage? Well, I need to go into politics for at least 15 years. Right, okay, that's the first step. So you do that and you get into politics. You need to push yourself and speak to as many people as possible and to become an excellent speaker. You need to get a lot of mentors and be around the right people. Obviously, living in America would be a start as well. And, you know, be in the right environment to be around them. Speak to the right people, give to a lot of charity events, put yourself in the right circles, start earning a lot of money from that by being around the right people, because money is a big key. And then you can start, you know, learning the trade, you know, going to university, doing online courses and figuring out how to get into the House of Commons or their thing. And I'm not saying you're going to be able to get there, but they got there, like the president currently got there through these thoughts. So what's stopping you? And that's the most powerful person in the world. So what's stopping you from achieving goals like having an online business? All you have to do is figure out your plan and work backwards from it. If you need to have, you know, 100 clients within the next year, break that down into every month. You know, in 6 months' time, you need to have 50 clients. In, you know, 1 month's time, you need to have, you know, say just like 9 clients. So you're getting 9 clients, you want to speak to 90 people. about your business. So how many people are going to speak to every day? That's 3 people every day. So now you've got a plan of how to get 100 clients because you figured out how many clients you need to have. And it's all about the clarity and having these big goals. We cannot consistently do what is inconsistent with our self-image. If we don't believe we can do something, that's exactly what happens. We don't get the thing. Now, does that all start making sense to you guys, or is it a bit much?
Yeah. No, this was a really good session.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
It
information.
wasn't
Yeah.
too much.
But you know, I'm really happy with how it went. And like I say, just this is the initial chapter, and it just kind of opens you up to the idea. And this is why I talk about repetition quite a lot. And this is why I talk about your self-image quite a lot, of how you see yourself and the way you talk to yourself, because we're at the beginning of a journey, and this program has changed my life and a lot of other people's lives. And it depends on you how much you want to change. If you want to change your paradigms and change your results, just really get on board with the program. You know, keep reading the chapters and just implementing them. Be very conscious about the words that you're saying and how you're talking to yourself about money, and things will start to change for you. Get affirmations and write them down. But that's pretty much it. I think we've done pretty good for time, actually. We're just less than an hour and a half at the minute. And the next chapter is how much is enough. You know, you're going to figure out that, you know, what you earn is yours to keep. MG probably been over this a little bit as you've read through the chapters. How to start straight away. You know, don't wait until you're ready. Don't wait until you have everything in place for you to start, because it'll never be always in place. Nothing's ever going to be 100% perfect for you to start. You can start now. How to make yourself financially independent. That's a really good one. I had a little webinar to do with that, but we go really into a bit more depth into that as well. And how to clear yourself of all debt and lack, because they're, you know, very similar. You can be out of debt, but you can still have a lot of lack. Like same way with me, you know, earning my money, but I didn't have any money at the end of the month still. That's lack. So you can clear yourself of that, and it goes. Then we start really getting into nitty gritty of this stuff, and I'm really excited of so moving forward. So how do you guys find that? How's everything resonated with you guys?
Good. It's made me realise a few things. Like before, when you asked her, you know, what good things have happened this week, I've just realised actually quite a few good things have happened, but you know, with negative thinking and whatnot, I haven't even realised that they were good things.
True, though, isn't it? It is true. So probably a lot of things happened that were good.
Yeah, because I've been pushing myself to network a bit more, and I've met loads of lovely people on Facebook and stuff, and one of it has led to me spotting a really good work opportunity.
Well, there you go. That's brilliant.
In September, which I'm really excited about.
Well,
so
there you go.
That's been a really big positive this week.
Oh, brilliant. See, there was success in there.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. It's like, what?
But that's just your conditioning.
Yeah.
You're not looking for them. Like, people can have a brilliant week, and then when someone asks you, you can say, yeah, okay, it was an okay week. It wasn't. It was a brilliant week. You've done so much stuff, but you talk yourself out of it, and then you start to forget the good feelings. This is something I really start to cover in the next chapter as well. It's something that's really important to me, and it really did change a lot of things for me. I'm really excited about that. So was it good for you, Adrian?
Sorry?
Was it good for you, this chapter?
Yeah, it was very good, very interesting.
Good.
I can't wait to the next chapter now.
Brilliant. Yeah, I really recommend start listening as much as possible to it, because some of the ideas and things I've noticed in the past as well, when people are reading and listening to it, the first couple of days, people are like, yeah, this is what I think of it, or I don't really understand, or I get this idea. And then back towards the end of the week, oh yeah, I've just read it like 5 times. I've just figured out how this relates to something else in my life. You know, the more you repeat it, the more you realise. Like the same way with you and your successes, MJ. You sort of think about it enough, and you do like find these new things. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Feel free to be very active in the group, you know, in the group chat. It's the way things move forward and how we can get through. And you know, if you have a good day, let everyone know if you having a rubbish day. Let everyone know, and just figure out as a team how we can move you forward, because everyone's in the same boat. We're all going to the same program, and it'd be good to really share everyone's successes. Okay, guys. So that's pretty much the end for today. Everyone else will be listening to the recordings, obviously, to catch up. I'd love to hear everyone's feedback on how it was, and things moving forward. And also, I'd really recommend you still going over Me and Money. Once you're still in your next chapter, how much is enough? I'd recommend reading over Me and Money just once again, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because obviously,
So
I've given you a lot of information.
I'm gonna do that.
I've given you a lot of information today, so I'd really recommend just going over it at least one more time, just to really refresh yourself for the next week.
So for the next session, do we have to have read chapter 2?
Yep, just chapter 2, and then we'll do each chapter. We'll go through each week.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much then.
Brilliant.
Okay.
And I'm gonna shoot off now. We get something to eat. But it's been a pleasure, and I'll catch up with you guys soon.
Okay, thanks again.
Okay, thanks, guys.